Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Youth Pulley show. I'm so excited to have you guys here. No, we should have started by 5 p.m. I really apologize for taking 30 minutes. This, in earnest, is the 17th episode. It's 17th episode of the Youth Pulley show, and we're looking to run away with it. And it's the first time we're going to be taking a dive into politics, the first time ever, and we're looking at how the youth can measure up with the demands of 21st century politics, the political demands of the 21st century. If this is the first time you're joining us at the Youth Pulley show, the Youth Pulley is a show that focuses on human capital development. It seeks to provide secrets, solutions, and strategies youths can adopt and practice to accelerate their ways to the future of their dreams. The key word there is accelerate. And at the Youth Pulley, we believe that you don't have to be 70 before you become a president, and you don't have to be 40 before you make your first million. Being established early is our watchword at the Youth Pulley. So this evening, we want to look at politics. We want to take on something that I believe is affecting each and every one of us. I read a report that Nigeria is the third country with the largest youth population, the third country with the largest population of youths, right? Just behind India and China. We have a whole lot of youths in our country, most of them below 18. So we want to talk about youths now. How do we measure up with the political demands of this century? I'm not alone on the show today. I have three guests with me. Three guests. It's the first time actually. Also, we're having three guests on the show. Usually we have just one. Yeah, so I'm going to introduce them in a bit. And they're already at the back end. They're waiting for me to introduce them. So the first person we're going to see is Ella Odia. Who is Ella Odia? I don't know if I pronounced the name right. I hope he forgives me. So Ella Odia is a writer, blogger, and budding life coach who is committed to using her gifts and skills to help young people live from within by discovering their purpose in life and drawing from it to guide their every decision. She believes strongly in the new Nigeria of Africa, and she does her best to share this vision with any or everyone she meets. She writes inspirational and educational pieces on her blog as a channel to get her message across. As regards politics, here's her favorite quote, and it's by Plato. One of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. One of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. Welcome to the show, Miss Ella. We're so happy and glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Fabian.
Welcome to the show. So the next person in line, the next guest in line is Annie. I call him Annie, short form. His name is Anniekan Augustus Akam, and I'm just going to read his profile now. He's actually a very shy person as regards. He feels that reading your profile is a way of being wined. He sends me a brief one. I'm just going to read it out now. So Anniekan is a poet and an ambiverted sapiosexual whose open-minded belief is founded on the words of E. E. Poe. The believer is happy, the doubter is wise. The believer is happy, the doubter is wise. Wow. We're going to have to come to why that is your favorite quote. So the next person, okay, welcome, Mr. Niekan. Can you hear me? Unmute your mic. Unmute your mic. Unmute your mic, Anekan. Okay. Unmute your mic, Anekan. I think. Okay. So I'll just move straight to reading Samuel Latunde's profile. Samuel Latunde is our next guest, the third guest. Samuel Latunde is the founder and convener of Govleaf's Resource Hub, GLRH, a community aimed at the professional development of undergraduates and graduate members. Samuel is a young talent who has contributed to positive business results through effective organization, prioritization, and follow-through of key organizational projects. His founding partner creative director of TME Wares, and COO of Semi Writers. Samuel is an undergraduate of the prestigious University of Lagos, majored in finance, a CFA Investment Foundation charter holder, and also holds a diploma in accounting from Yaba College of Technology. He founded GovList Resource Hub in November 2019 when he discovered his passion to help fellow undergraduates get equipped with the necessary skills and experiences needed to stay competitive and relevant outside the school walls. Having discovered this passion, feeling the passion became a prerequisite to creating meaningful impact. Hence, he regularly organizes webinars, hosting professionals on our WhatsApp and on his WhatsApp and Slack platforms, impacting over 500 members of the GLRH community. Wow, an amazing profile. Welcome to the show, Mr. Samuel Olatunde, aka Govli. Can you hear me, Samuel? Network is has taken started taking its toll a lot this evening. I don't know if this doesn't
Yes, I can hear
call it.
you. Hi, Fabian.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to just go straight into the business of the evening, so we don't waste time because we're already behind schedule.
I'm with you, Fabian.
Okay.
I can hear
So
you.
all right. So the first question we're going to ask. Okay. Before we go into taking the questions, the title of today's show is Level Up. It's a discussion on how the youth can measure up with the political demands of the 21st century. Before we go into the topic in full, right? I want us to talk about something I discovered recently. We know by definition that a failed state is a political body that has indicated a point where basic conditions and responsibilities of a sovereign government no longer function properly. Any state or country that we call a failed state is one that the political body that its basic functions can no longer perform. That means it can't enforce its rules, right? And it can also provide quality standard of living for her citizens, probably due to insurgency, high crime rates, corruption, and all that. Now, according to Jay Goldstone, who wrote a paper titled Pathways to State Failure, he talked about state predation as the pathway to state failure. And when he was giving examples, state predation refers to the corrupt corruption of resources at the expense of other people. You're taking resources of the country at the expense of the citizens. The first example of the country he cited when he was mentioning that particular point was Nigeria. He said Nigeria is a failed state. So this question is to you, Mr. Samuel. Do you think Nigeria is a failed state? And can you say why? You think Nigeria is a failed state, and can you say why?
Okay. Okay, so failed state. And can I say why? First and foremost, what is a failed state? A failed state is an economy that has failed to meet the demands of its citizens, failed to meet the demands of international, to meet the demands of itself. A failed state is a state that cannot right now. A failed state is a state that cannot actually protect the life and property operates a business person. A failed state is a state that continues to operate at loss consecutively. So Nigeria is a failed state, and I am not really proud to say it, but in reality, Nigeria is a failed state. So the reason I'm saying this is because to be nonchalant, to be reckless, and to not care about the safety and welfareism of everyone. So it's evident. It's not something I am just pulling out of somewhere. It is quite evident. Nigeria is a failed state in Africa states compared to how far we've come and how far others have moved. Nigeria is a failed state.
Okay, so I'm going to, before I ask, Ella, your question is already here. I'm going to ask the question, but before I go on to ask you that question, what's your opinion on this? Do you think Nigeria is a failed state? Because it's very very hard to say, considering the fact that we are citizens of Nigeria, and considering the fact that some people are making silent billions and millions in this country. Do you think Nigeria is a failed state?
Okay, by all indications and by all definitions, like the one you gave and the one Samuel gave, yes, we actually fall into that category. But I'd rather believe that Nigeria is a failing state because saying it's a failed state gives this tone of finality, like there's nothing that can be done about it anymore. So I'd rather call it a failing state because I still see light at the end of the tunnel. I still see hope. So yeah, I believe Nigeria is a failing state because they cannot meet the demands of their people. They cannot, there's so many things that are actually going wrong at this very moment. So, like I said, I'd rather call Nigeria a failing state than a failed state because it sounds so final and like, there's nothing that can be done about it anymore. That's my take.
Okay. So, thank you very much. You said Nigeria is a failing state. Powerful, powerful perspective. So, Mr. Niekan, what's your opinion on this? Do you think Nigeria is a failed state?
Well, I agree with Ella. I think I like the term failing or the word failing more. Nigeria is not yet failed, but we're still failing. And in failing, we're not recognizing that we are failing. The same mistakes, the same errors keep repeating itself year in, year out with no significant progress. Everyone is falling into the same trap, into the same depths. A country is meant to learn from its mistakes and move on, but we keep sinking deeper and deeper in our failures. So I'd say Nigeria is a failing and deteriorating state.
Okay. So, this question is for you, Miss Ella. Uh, in my opening address for the evening show, I talked about the fact that Nigeria has the largest population of youths in the world, the third country, the largest population of youths in the world, behind India and China. So I want to ask, what is the major challenge of our youths in this country today, and is there a possibility that the youth all contribute to this challenge? What are those major challenges of our youth in this country, and is there a possibility that our youth are the ones orchestrating these challenges?
Okay, in my opinion and from my personal experience, I think the two major challenges of the youth in our country today is one, a lack of an enabling environment, and number two, the fact that our value system is very bad. Okay, what do I mean by enabling environment? I mean there's this mindset, there's this idea that only some particular courses and only some particular fields of study are prestigious and bring in money. So parents usually like force their children to go into some particular lines that they are not meant to be just because of money. So people that are not supposed to be there enter into those places, and then at the end of the day you see a lot of mishap because of that. So if we had an enabling environment, someone that wants to be an artist can be an artist and go on to earn from it. Someone that wants to be a musician can become a musician and go on to earn from it. We can have diversity and various kinds of work, not just doctor, not just nurse, not just lawyer and all that. But because of the fact that our environment is not, the best, we stick to those things, and then you find people stifling themselves and stifling their creativity. So another problem of the youth that we have is the value system. Like in this nation, I think what we believe is that, our Nigerian dream is, I must blow, get the money, like get rich quick or die trying. So you see people do all sorts of shady things just to be rich, just to be wealthy, just to get money, just to drive a Benz, those kinds of things. So I think our value system is warped as a people. Like You can literally make money any way you like and in any wrong way, and nobody will question you as long as you have that money and as long as you can dash it, as long as you can spray it and you can, throw it on everybody. See the menace of Yahoo that is happening today, kidnapping and all sorts of things, all sorts of like bad stuff. But people are not questioned just because that money is there, just because you've gotten it. So they don't question the source. So I believe that we value the wrong things. We think that having money is the ultimate, which it is not. So that's my take. That's what I think is, the most important problems of the youth today.
Okay, so I think you talked about the value system. So it means the major problem, from your perspective, the major problem of the youth is actually individually orchestrated, because if their value system is not right, it means they are facing problems caused by themselves. I'll come back to you on that
No,
point.
not No, not sorry. Not like they caused it themselves. It's the environment they were born into. Although we actually have a choice to reject what we believe and choose what we decide to believe in, but not everybody has that mental capacity and strength to say, "Oh, okay, I don't want to adopt this." Many people live with what they have been taught and with what they have been handed over to them, and that's what you see now. Except maybe conscious effort is actually made to rewire those mindsets. People will run with them for the rest of their lives.
Well, okay. Speaking of things being handed down to us, uh, nobody saw 2020 coming. This next question is for you, Mr. Stanley. Nobody saw 2020 coming the way it is. There's been a lot of highs and lows, lots of deaths, lots of shocking things happening, and this revolution that is happening, right, is kind of like one of them. The protest going um, viral every day. People are just posting things on Twitter about SARS and everything. So I want to ask, what's really happening to our youth this year? Like, Mr. Neka, what's happening to our youth? Like, is there something that we don't know that triggered this thing? What really happened? I don't understand. The unity is amazing. You see people from different tribes, coming together to protest against one government having one cause, that kind of thing. So, what is really happening to our youth this year, 2020? What's happening?
Um, I think I'll call it a revolution. I'll call it an awakening. The sleeping giants have been woken up. It is very rare to see youths come together under one roof, under one umbrella to chase a goal. As long as interests don't align, you rarely see youth come together except for social influence, social status. But now I think everyone has gotten it up to the neck here. And sincerely, I'm amazed at the movement. I'm amazed at the way, if we want to get things done in this country, the youth can actually do something and debunk the fact that our president called us lazy.
Mhm. Yeah, I was more amazed at the response of Port Harcourt boys. Wiki came out at the verge of their protest and said that the protest should not hold. That he was banning the protest, but they went ahead and did it. They were talking about citing the constitution, that it is written nowhere in the constitution that the governor has the right to ban a protest, that kind of thing. So it feels like the youths that were sleeping are now awake. Like everybody has had it up to the neck. Even in the rain, here in Lagos, youths were still at Lekki toll gate. Still they just declared no movements for everybody. So everywhere is just on lockdown. I feel like you said, is a revolution. So speaking of that, and speaking of revolution, I want to direct this next question to Mr. Samuel. I attended a council meeting by Senator when he was going to be taking on his campaign for presidency in 2019. The council meeting was actually at Abeokuta. So one of the questions he was asked was about his experience. Like, you're going for presidency, this is your first shot. You've not gone for Senate, you've not gone for House of Reps, or local government chairman or something. You're just going straight for the presidency. And I think he was 46 then, or 47. They were talking about experience. Frankly speaking, it feels like you can't really apply for anything in Nigeria without experience, right? It feels like you can't really apply for anything in Nigeria without experience. So, do you think experience is really necessary? It's a necessary thing we need to have in the 21st century before we participate in politics. I'm still, I think his network is having issues. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can.
So,
Yes, I can.
okay, so because I think someone went on great for the time. Someone, welcome back. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Mr. Samuel? I think his network is having issues. Okay, so I'm just going to ask us the question so that we can move on from there. Then we come online, we'll, get his opinion on it. So I was talking about the fact that you can't really apply for anything in Nigeria without experience. They say experience even matters in politics and all that. If you're going for any leadership position, you have to have experience. So do we think this is necessary? And if it is necessary, like if it is true that it's necessary, what are those things leaders need to have in order to be qualified to participate in 21st century politics? We know that by 2023, it's going to be politics in Nigeria is going to be on a whole different level. It's going to be on a whole different level because we're foreseeing the youths taking up their own candidates and doing amazing things. So, what do you think leaders should have in order to be qualified to participate in 21st century politics? Let me start with you, Ella.
All right. So for your question, you asked what I think 21st century leaders need to have in order to participate in politics. Okay, so
Yeah.
I am not really of the school of thought that experience is like very vital to run for office. Like I believe it's an added bonus and it really helps. It takes one a long way. But I believe that for someone to, occupy a position and lead others, I feel like the most important thing is the heart of that person. How does that person see leadership? How does the person see that office he's going to? Does he see it as a means to oppress the people, or does he see it as a means to actually serve people? Now, I also believe that age does not really matter. Like I said, I think the heart is the crux here. The heart is the core. If the heart of the person is for the people, then Nigeria is going to change drastically. But even if we have a young person that still comes up and then the person is, it doesn't really have a heart for the people, it's just there because, okay, yes, I'm young and I want to occupy office, I don't really think that much will change. So, like I said, I believe the heart is what matters. And whether that person sees office as a tool for oppression or a tool for service as a servant leader for the people. That's what I think.
Okay, so to you, Mr. Niekai, she said, the leader must have a good heart. Uh, if I'm not mistaken, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan had a very good heart, and it was I remember vividly he was a weakling. He was called a weakling. So I want to ask your opinion on this. What do you think the youth should have as qualities that will make them fit to participate in 21st century politics? Because it's on a different level now. So on a different level now. If you're not fit, you can't even go there, right? So what are those qualities you should have? Considering of course the position of Nigeria, father, we are a failing state, right? And our ethnic groups, our ethnic differences, the challenges we are facing now, the godfatherism concept. So, what are those things leaders should have?
First off, I'd like to I'd like to say something. Leadership in Nigeria, youth occupying leadership positions in Nigeria, it's actually meant to be transitional. Experience, I'll take count, but it's meant to be transitional. you can't just carry an inexperienced person who doesn't know the ropes, because it's not only about leadership here. You're also going to represent us internationally. You're going to represent the country. You're going to represent each individual internationally, and you cannot
Yeah.
go there well versed. So it should be transitional, not the older generations holding on to it, and and being in transitional, each youth is meant to have integrity, is meant to be honest, is meant to have compassion, to be a leader without these few qualities doesn't cut it. Because if you don't have integrity in this part of the globe we are in, where we have other issues like ethnicity, tribalism, and all, integrity is the only thing that stands out, that makes everybody want to come under your umbrella. Just take for example the protest. Everyone forgot, oh, this one is from Yoruba, this one is an Igbo person, this one is, and came under that one umbrella to chase a goal. If you have that integrity, I think you'd be able to pull crowd and lead the country well.
Okay, so well, there is this thing about leadership in Nigeria. So the manifesto is usually very, very captivating. In fact, it's almost usually the same lines everybody uses. The manifesto is captivating. The vision is very, very vast and clear. Then when you get into office, you become overwhelmed by the problems, because the problems are not just coming from the fact that the country is not moving forward. But the problem is also amongst your cabinet, like your the guys that are following you, the senators, your ministers, they are not doing what you ask them to do. So it becomes like you become an enemy if you don't do what they say. That caucus is already built, that kind of thing. So I'm directing this question to you, Mr. Sanwo. I don't know if you can you hear us, Mr. Sanwo?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, your network is
Can you
fluctuating
hear
a
me?
bit. Yeah, I can, but your network is fluctuating. Did you hear the question? Oh, his network is fluctuating. Okay, so oh, we really need change in our country, guys. I'm so sorry, our audience. Thank you for being patient with us. I know it's not really easy when the network is fluctuating and you're looking to hear somebody. You can just zoom out. But thank you for staying with us. Don't worry. Let me not make the promises of politician here. We're looking forward to having a seamless live stream very, very soon. Okay, so I think Govlis network is having hitches. So I'll direct the question to Ella and Nathan while we look for someone likely to come back online. So I talked about the fact that leadership in Nigeria is quite very difficult. Before you get into office, you are up and your vision is clear and fast. Your energy is 150%. Your passion is so fiery, it can spark fire in another person, that kind of thing. So when you get into office, you get overwhelmed by the problems. We see it every time. We see it every time. So somebody that was very passionate and I was speaking everywhere before I got into office suddenly becomes quiet. when she gets into office. What do you think is the cause of that? And how do you think what approach do you think leaders should take, youth should take going forward if they're going to, participate in politics? What approach should they take? Miss Ella, please. I think our network too. Okay. Uh, Miss Ella, did you hear the question? Okay, Mr. Nekan, did you hear the question?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Send me your thoughts while I wait for Miss Ella to come on.
Well, a leader is as good as his peripherals, and everyone has a mind of his own. Everyone has got their own opinion. I think it's about having a meeting, hearing out everyone's opinions, and trying to follow through projects. Because it is one thing to delegate, raise a panel, delegate and assign responsibilities, and not follow up. Take for instance all the whole projects, NDDC projects, all the whole project, this project, that project. They only disburse funds and they don't follow it up.
Yeah.
This is what encourages embezzlement of funds and the lot. If all these projects were duly followed up by the leader, if he had the time to follow it up, or probably a 4-man, 5-man team to monitor these projects and follow it up, we won't be having issues of painting the leader the bad egg or the bad figure. So I think it's about taking a responsibility of following up projects and following up on your cabinet and not
I
being too
actually said
busy.
I said something about the problem about the country, right? So, okay, this next question, I'm directing it to you, Miss Ella. The leader gets into office and is overwhelmed by the problems there, the host of problems there. The problem is not just about the fact that the country is not moving forward, but the problem is also that maybe the presidents or the governor's cabinet members are not working, and they don't see them. The citizens don't see all those things. When things start going wrong, it is the president's name that is mentioned. If it's Mr. Nekan who is the president, they will just say Anekan is not a good president. So they were like, if Gary, skyrocket, the price of Gary skyrockets, what is the problem? They say Anekan, that kind of thing. That's how Nigerians view this problem. And then it may not even be your fault as a person. So how do you deal with the problems of leaders under you who are not working? This advice is just going to you who are looking to take on political positions going forward. So how would you advise the approach that kind of situation?
Okay, first of all, I'm going to write on what Anyeka said. I think the first step is actually selecting people of character that have integrity and have great work ethic. Like when you're choosing cabinet members, you don't just do it, anyhow. You don't just do it like just because you want to do and fill up space. You have to actually choose people that are, work driven, want to see results, and want to actually serve the people. That's where a heart of service comes in again. And then, like Anyeka said, it's follow up. You just when you start up projects and start up things you want to do, you don't just give funds and just let things go like that. You have to be on top of things. You have to supervise things, and when you see that things are not going the way you planned them, you can give warnings and you can give deadlines, and if they're not met, some of these people should actually be fired or let go of, because you can't just keep keeping people that are not producing results, and or because they're your cabinet members, or you're just keeping them there, they're eating money, they're not doing anything. So there is a place of actually letting them go and replacing them with better people that will do the job better. That's what I think.
Okay, we're running this representative democracy, and until this year, 2020, in a very long while, we've not seen any protest such as this before, right? So I feel like if the youths keep demanding accountability from the government, they will be on their toes. Somebody was saying that the president is sitting on a time bomb right now. If anything happens, like if he makes any decision that doesn't go in line with what we expect as citizens, there may be another protest, and this time it may lead to his impeachment. Let me not say impeachment. It may lead, to him being removed from office drastically, that kind of thing. So is there something for youth not participating in the political positions, not vying for any political position? Is there something they can do, to be able to contribute to the governance? Since you are running a representative democracy, what can they do? So, Mr. Niekan, please, that question is for you.
As was the slogan of this present government, change starts with you. If you are not if you are not active in politics, if you are not active in government, at least in your passive way, you should at least talk to people, try and be of good character, as Ella said. The honesty, integrity, compassion, and the rest doesn't isn't only meant for leaders. It's meant for us as individuals. Because if there was integrity, see other developed countries. If there was integrity, if you're compassionate, and if you had love for your neighbor and one another, there would be less crime, there would be less violence, and there will be less issues. There will be less issues in the country. So it's about, again, the key word is integrity, followed closely by having compassion and love for your neighbor. And I think the country should do just fine.
Okay. Uh, I think our youth just have to wake up. Right? Our youth just have to wake up. Okay, so Sam is back. I'm just hoping he can, join in time before we take off. Very big story to the audience. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Bobby. Can you hear us?
I Yes, I can hear you. Fabian, I'm very sorry for, I don't know, my network, and I don't know. I had to like change devices right now to actually make this work. I hope it's better
Yeah,
now.
this is fantastic now. It's fantastic now. We've actually
All right.
gone in a bit more. So I'm just going to ask your thoughts on this question. According to Nairametrics, Nigeria's public debt is officially 28.63 trillion naira. Nigeria's public debt is
Okay.
officially
Yeah.
28.63 trillion naira. And according to the Human Development Index, Nigeria is ranked 158 in the world as far as human development is concerned. So, is there hope for us? Because it feels like when they start talking about restructuring the country, it's so vast, we don't know where to start from. We don't know where to start from. Where do we restructure from? They say, let's start with electricity, and then that one is, let's start with roads. Where do we begin the restructuring from? So, is there really hope for Nigeria? And then for youth, vying for political positions, where should they target first? Right? So, where should they target first? Whoever is free for a position 2023, where do you think they should target first?
Okay. So the thing is this: for like I said, I'm a business person, and looking at the governmental agencies from a business perspective. So why do they borrow money? They borrow money to fund projects. They borrow money to pay salaries. The government borrow money to create jobs. So they borrow money to do quite a lot of things. But right now, when they borrow this money, how do they use it? So if the government is borrowing money and they are not utilizing it well, so it turns out into debt, and then the debt keeps increasing without returning any profit. Just like you borrowing money from a bank as a business person, and then you end up not using the money the way you ought to, and then you end up incurring, which increases your debt as a person. So looking at the society now, what do you do to make sure the money you're borrowing doesn't increase further, or what do you do to make sure the money you're borrowing brings in profits so that you can actually repay your debts and actually have something for yourself? So this is the first one. First, you need to like cut the cost of government. The amount of salary, I saw today that a senator earns as much as 25 million naira per month, basic salary and all what do they call it, all other one senator. So I saw the government in their budget. I've seen in 2021 budget, they budgeted quite a sum of traveling. They budgeted billions of naira for traveling in 2021. Why do you need to travel? You travel out of the country, is it bringing sustainable development into the country? What you are doing with the money, is it yielding profits? So what we need to be looking at is this. We need to be looking at how we are going to create jobs, because one thing you need to know that once you put money into it, it brings profit, is creating jobs. So once you are able to create job with the money you're borrowing, then the economy can sustain itself. And then once the economy starts sustaining itself, then you can actually start saying, oh, you want to repay these loans. For example, you borrow money to build roads. Who does that? I know the roads are bad and all, but then you borrow money to build roads, and even the roads you are building, road that should not cost more than 500, you said your budget that it costs you 3 billion naira. So that's the terms of what you are using, you're supposed to use to build that road. You understand what I'm saying? So until we're able to cut this cost, until we're able to reduce the cost of the jobs, because the more jobs we create, the more sustainable the economy is. And we need to start investing in sectors of the we need to start investing in sectors of the economy, in the manufacturing, invest in entrepreneurship, invest in sector. So there are different cause when you much you bring in foreign investment into your country. So you want to your currency, which in fact is deteriorating the country. So try to wrap up. What I'm trying to say is this: we need to actually make sure within all loopholes, all loopholes where money leaves the federation's account. So if you are saying you want to build this road for 5 million, let it be 500 million, and do not overpay. You spend money on what is government startups that are not even funny. These issues are at the expense of ministries that need funding. Thing is, cut the government creating jobs, the economy becomes sustainable, and then once the economy becomes sustainable, then step by step we can actually say, oh, we can record and on the long run, then we can start to develop as a nation. So I just hope I've been able to do justice to your question, Fabian.
Yeah, you did. I network really took great toll on us this evening. I know you were saying some fantastic things, and I wish the network was clear, so that we'll be able to flow. But I'm sure everybody would have got some value from what you said. So his point now is anybody going into office, the first target, is to cut costs, cut cost on everything. Every money spent should, be accountable for. You're not just giving money into space. You're not just giving money to something and then you don't have any idea about how much I think it's going to cost. So just based on estimates, We estimate that the road is going to cost about 3 billion naira to fix, and then just giving the money. So every money that is borrowed should be accountable for. And then we should focus on creating jobs. That way, as someone has said, we feel that we'll be able to achieve progress. So before we wrap up, I'd like to hear your thoughts, Ms. Ella. What are your final thoughts to youth participating in politics? Most youth, right now, as we speak, I remember those times when I was young, I used to say politics is not for me. It's a dirty game. In fact, we were particularly taught in SS1 that people have this orientation that politics is a dirty game. So because it's a dirty game, they refuse to participate in it. There are some people who go along with that mindset even today. So what's your word, Ms. Ella, to the youth of the 21st century, and how should they approach politics?
Okay, the idea that politics is a dirty game, I would say it's not unfounded because actually it's kind of like a black hole that one can be sucked into. Like if you go alone and if you go unprepared, like it's something that can literally, if you don't have strong convictions and if you don't have a strong backing, you can be swallowed up. So, but I would tell the young people of today that are, looking to vie for office and all that, that first of all, they should know what they want, they should know who they are, they should have strong convictions about what they are going to do when they get into office. And then also, like I said before, they have to get their hearts right. They have to get their outlook on leadership right. If they see leadership as service, they see leadership as, a channel to actually improve the lives of people, I believe that a lot of things will change. Most people go into politics as a poverty alleviation scheme because there's money in government. And, like Samuel said, one senator is being paid 25 million naira. So most people actually go there for the monetary gains, the things that they will get out of it. So for our generation, I believe that if we can shift that mindset and shift that, understanding of politics and see it as a way to actually build up people and serve people, I think things are going to get better. Fabian, your mic is muted. We can't hear you.
Sorry about that. Okay, so I was saying thank you very much for your thoughts on that. Ms. Anyakan, what are your thoughts on this particular last question? Say most youths approach politics as if it is some devilish thing. In fact, we have parents who refuse that their children should go out and protest. I understand from the safety perspective, they don't want their children to get killed in the course of the protest. But besides that, they don't allow their children engage in politics. In fact, if you tell your parents you are looking to become a politician someday, they ask you, do you want to go to hellfire? That kind of question. So how do you approach this as a youth? How do you balance of parental pressures and of course the fact that uh, the society kind of tends to turn people going into politics into something they were not supposed to be. So how do you balance, and what advice do you have for the youths?
Um, Thank you. Um, in as much as in as much as some some want to be passive in politics, politics is politics is like palm oil. If it stains one finger, it stains the rest. So you can't say you're escaping it either ways. Politics covers all facets of life, be you in school, be you in work, be you anywhere. It covers everywhere. And if you decide to be passive, it still affects you. I understand the imagery that has been painted of politics in Nigeria. And trust me, I don't think a good job has been done about that imagery. Most of the tales have been true to the image. And it's not it's not every parent's wish to bury their children before them. So every parent tends to shield their child away from politics. Please just go and stay alive, stay alive. That's the chant. But Politics is not meant to be a dirty game. Politics wasn't created to be a dirty game. It is the selfish interest of people that make it a dirty game. The greed, everybody is trying to be covetous, everybody's trying to keep for themselves, take a larger chunk of the national cake, which is what makes politics a dirty game. And I'll keep reiterating, if everyone had integrity, it's about integrity. My dad says something, whatever you do, be it business, whatever it is, don't come back with the money. Come back with my name. If everyone had that integrity, and if youths moving forward, occupying positions had that integrity, we won't need to worry about politics being a dirty game or a do or die affair. Take, for instance, the classic example Jonathan set in this country. He lost, accepted defeat, and went back and allowed the winner take over. If if youth could also do that, because see, both in schools, both in offices, everyone wants to be in the spotlight, and it's not possible. That that spirit of sportsmanship, to accept defeat and lay back, is and coupled with integrity, is what I think everyone should imbibe, and I think we'll do well to do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your opinion on that. We still have a very, very long way to go as a nation. We still have a very long way to go. And when we look at the progress all other nations are having, we look at the kind of pace they are going and the fact that the more we, set up our ties with China, the more it feels like we're becoming enslaved. I don't know if you've read anything about our ties with China. The more we connect with them, the more we take things from them. It becomes as though we are being colonized the second time, and it is not. They, those in leadership right now will not suffer from it the way we will do if we are passive about politics. So I'm just going to hear Mr. Samuel's thoughts on it, and then we're going to Samuel's final voice, and then we're going to wrap up the show from them. So Samuel, can you hear us?
Yeah, can hear you guys.
Okay, so what are your final words?
You muted my mic.
Okay, I've unmuted you now. What are your final words?
My mic is muted. Okay. So I would say for this nation to actually grow for, we need candidates, or should I say politicians, that are relevant to this time and dispensation. We need people that are enlightened, that know what is going on, that know what we need to do, and season has affected what has actually happened in the past, and how they can actually making Nigeria better. So we need people that selfish interest, people with integrity, people with quite with people who has knowledge in quite a number of areas in politics, and emotional intelligence. We need a lot of people that can do a lot in several capacities. You understand? So you can't just come because your father is a politician, or your father has been a politician, because you went to Harvard or you went to one school and feel you are fit to be a politician. So we should stop because he's saying I should go for a political appointment and all, then I am fit for the role. So we should start to look at our system. We should take a deep check. We should look at the people we are voting for. This person, is he truly qualified? This person, what has it done? What are its track record? Being able to this political, because you can't be saying you want to gain experience, past experience, because the economy of a country is not something you should say you use to test run your experience, right? So we should give no chances at all to mediocrity. We should give no chances at all to ignorance. We should give no chances at all to whatever it is, that if you are not qualified, you're not qualified. If you are qualified, we should take no chances, because the reason we have taken chances with people, we look at chances. So we've taken chances a lot. If there's someone more qualified, then let's vote for the person, not the person that we think can do well, and we want to take the chances on the person. So we should start looking for politicians, start looking for people can do well. And as youth, we should can relax. This country is for we are all stakeholders in this economy, because the decision these people get to make a bad decision, whether you are in the country or you are not, then it affects you. Even if you are not the people Nigeria is not good happening in Nigeria. For example, look at the Nigerians are fraudsters. You want to do business with them, they will always think you are fraudsters, because that is what is rampant in Nigeria. You may not be doing Yahoo, you may not be involved in fraud, but then because you're in Nigeria, you are born in Nigeria, you have a Nigerian passport, makes you to be accused of being a
Oh, I think we lost him. His network is really uh, having glitches.
fraudster qualified to run for a position. Now I am even
Okay. Okay, guys. I want to take this time to say I'm so sorry about the network. I wish I could just magically become a superhero and change the network situation of this evening. It has really prevented us from hearing Mr. Samuel. I know he's said a lot. I know he's said a lot, and we've missed a lot too because of the network. So I'd like to say a big thank you to every one of us. Thank you, Miss Ella, for showing up on such short notice. Thank you, Mr. Lekan. You guys did amazing. Thank you, Mr. Samuel, for showing up strong, even when the network affected. Went offline and then came back online with a new device. That showed tenacity, and it's a quality our youths should imbibe. It doesn't matter, the setbacks we've had as a nation so far. It doesn't matter what they've said about Nigeria. It doesn't matter where we are right now. They may say we're a failed state, but I don't believe it's over for us. It's not over for us yet, and we can get to a position where they will look at us as world powers. We can get to that position again if we do things. But I believe this protest we are taking up is a step in the right direction. A step in the right direction, demanding accountability from our government, from our leaders, keeping them on their toes and making them realize that they are not just leading stones or leading animals who do not have intelligence. They are leading human beings. That leading very, very intelligent people. Right. So I believe that going forward, the youths are going to be more active in politics, and they are going to take on politics as something that matters, so they are not just something from a distance. So I'm going to see you guys in the back end. In the meantime, um, Once again, thank you, very big thank you to the audience. Shout out to Abiding TV for making this platform available for us to always share our thoughts with the world. Like I said, the Youth Pulley Show is focused on human capital development. We teach secret solutions and strategies any youth can apply, to be able to accelerate our way to, the future of their dreams. Thank you once again for staying with us up to this time until I come your way next week. My name is Fabian Collins, as you have seen on the screen, and this is the Youth Pulley Show.